What's going on, everybody? We have some insane moves today. Bitcoin is breaking new yearly highs again. We've got cleanspark just touched $10 now. We have an extremely small Bitcoin miner in market cap, Sphere 3D, up about 40% as of this upload. And I also want to talk about Iris Energy, another Bitcoin miner that I do own. And in this video, we're also going to touch on a couple of pieces of news, possibly some reasons why Bitcoin is running here. Now, if you guys enjoy these videos, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. It definitely helps me out, and consider joining my membership for $2 a month if you want to show your support. And also, there's some links down below for some free stocks and cryptos. Now let's check out what's going on. And first off, cleanspark. We went all the way to $10 before starting to retrace here. Still a 7% up day. Now keep in mind that we are overbought on the chart, so exercise some caution. And one thing I am watching for is a retracement down to this trend line. Typically, when you see these big runs like this, there is a point where we kind of peak and start coming down to at least test this ascending trend line. We did previously break it, bounce right off the 50 and bounce right back in this ascending support. And look at how overbought we've been, and cleanspark still continues its momentum. It quickly, sold off, got that RSI back to neutral, and we went back to overbought again. And we're seeing increased volume. There's definitely institutions buying, there's definitely whales buying. It's definitely not retail bringing this price up in this short a time. And in general, I do expect this to continue. And as I've said previously, any dip is a buying opportunity, and it has been throughout this year. I'm still extremely bullish on cleanspark, and I do believe it's a solid DCA even at these prices, but just keep in mind that it may cool off a bit from here. Next up, Sphere 3D. This has been an extremely rough downtrend, a very different chart compared to other Bitcoin miners like cleanspark, for example, that have been actually running up since 2023. This has been continuing down. It's a little higher risk in nature, and I do think we need to see these, big moves we've been seeing with Bitcoin for Sphere 3D to start getting that positive momentum. And we are starting to see that. We're seeing a huge increase in volume. We went from being oversold on the chart to being overbought in literally a matter of a few days. This has moved 100%. This has doubled up in literally the matter of a few days. Now, we're not out of the woods yet here. We're still under a few of the EMAs as well as moving averages, so I would be a bit cautious. I was looking to get in Sphere 3D, but I missed out here, so I'm going to remain on the sidelines and be patient. That said, this could continue running, but I do believe getting in right here at this point is a bit high risk. But this is definitely one you could throw 20 bucks at, just throw a little bit of money at, 40 bucks, 100 bucks, whatever fits your budget, and look at it kind of as a lotto ticket. I do think the bull market in 2024 and 2025 will benefit Sphere 3D massively, and I am still looking to enter, but I am being patient. I'm not getting bit by the FOMO bug. Keep in mind, this is an extremely small cap, and when this does move, we will have huge moves like this. That's why I do want to get in this. But if you're curious about Sphere 3D or any stock, I do have some previous videos going over past mining updates, going over earnings and things like that. I'll try to leave one at the end screen for you. Now, I want to talk about Iris Energy before looking at Bitcoin and going over some pieces of news. We've been seeing increased volume in Iris Energy. We are now trending above the EMAs, and they are in an ascending pattern. However, we're still waiting for the 50 to break above the 100 and the 200 EMA. Once we see that, the chart will then be bullish. Now, it's nice to see that it's finally back over this trend line that is established back in 2023. It is a bit overbought on the chart, so exercise caution with this one as well, but the chart looks a lot more bullish. At least with this one, we're above the EMAs, but I'm waiting for these to flip. And I'm also waiting to see that golden cross with the 50 and the 200 MA. Remember, these are lagging indicators, so if we see some sideways from here and then another push up, I do think we'll hit that golden cross. As long as we don't sell off hard here and break through this trend, I do think the golden cross is coming, and I'm hoping for an opportunity to add more to my Iris Energy position on future pullbacks. And if you're curious about Iris Energy, I also have previous videos going over the past mining updates. I definitely like Iris Energy. They mine also in Canada, and they're also focusing on AI, utilizing their currently existing GPUs and more that they're receiving to get into the AI space. That may bring some more hype for them. That may bring in some future revenue down the road, but I do think it's an interesting avenue that they're taking, and I do see potentially more miners considering it, seeing as all these miners have the technology needed to get into AI. And one thing to consider is on that effort to increase hash rate, remain efficient, there will be older miners that companies like Iris Energy, maybe cleanspark for example, there will be miners that some of these companies no longer want to use from an efficiency standpoint, and they might dedicate them in the future to AI. Who knows? But the main focus here is Bitcoin mining, and Iris Energy does have an attractive market cap 2 hash rate. And they're also planning to expand their hash rate massively over 2024. But I do like Iris Energy. This is one I own, obviously, along with CleanSpark. I'm not personally adding here. I am waiting for a pullback. Next up, I want to talk Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just continuing to move up despite being overbought on the RSI. I do think we will retrace some. We may come down towards 41,000. We may come down back towards 40,000. I do think at this point we will never see the 20,000s again, but let me know what you guys think. What price will we never see again for Bitcoin? I still think it's not off the table that we could see potentially the high 30s, maybe the low 30s if we see a dramatic pullback, but I kind of doubt it at this point. The halving is only a few months away, and as Bitcoin continues up, we start getting more hype, more excitement, more people hearing about Bitcoin and wanting to get in, wanting to make those gains that everyone's been making over the last couple months now. So it's really hard to say where Bitcoin pulls back at. In my opinion, any down days is a buying opportunity and will be throughout 2024. But it's nice to see that Bitcoin is now approaching $45,000 and only a few weeks ago was in the high 30s. When it starts moving, boy, it really starts moving. But remember guys, you know, across the board, most all of these Bitcoin miners I just showed you, Bitcoin, of course, they're all overbought on the chart. They are due to pull back a bit. So just be patient. Don't be too hasty. There will be buying opportunities. And if you're worried about being left behind, a great way to go is just slowly DCA over time. It takes a lot of the worry out of it. You don't have to sit here and rack your brain about when to get in, when to get out, what to do. Just dollar cost average over weeks, over months, over years. Now I do want to talk about a couple things that could be pushing Bitcoin up, some news going on. For one, BlackRock received $100,000 in seed funding for their spot Bitcoin ETF, and an unknown seed investor agreed to purchase 100 shares on October 27, 2023. However, this filing recently revealed that this may be one thing that's causing a lot of hype, kind of breathing back a little bit of excitement in terms of the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Now, seed capital represents the initial funding that allows an ETF to fund the creation units underlying the ETF so that shares can be offered and traded in the open market. That could be one thing bringing some hype. Obviously, the seed investor was buying back in October, but the news of this is making people excited about the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Now, we also have a rumor that the Qatar Sovereign Wealth Fund is eyeing a $500 billion investment in Bitcoin. Now, I heard somewhere that they have $470 billion in cash on the sidelines. However, I doubt they would take all of their cash and buy Bitcoin. I think this is nothing more than a rumor, but it is definitely very exciting because there will be institutionals, there will be wealth funds, you know, putting a lot of money into Bitcoin over the years. But let me know what you guys think. Is this just nothing more than a rumor? Is this something that someone put out there just to hype up the market a bit more? Regardless of whether this is a rumor or not, we will see more and more institutionals getting into Bitcoin, more asset managers, more wealth funds. And so far, everything's going according to plan. Bitcoin is hyping up towards the halving, just as it has in 2012 and 2016. And the Bitcoin miners have been seeing a nice rise. And I do expect that to continue throughout 2024 and into 2025. And despite some things being overbought here and there, I do think a lot of these Bitcoin miners, Bitcoin as well, a lot of the cryptos out there are solid DCAs. And you'll see a lot of people now saying, you know, on these huge spike days, just huge overbought days, should I get in? And this is why you get in when there's fear. This is why you get in on the pullbacks, on those companies and cryptos that you believe in long term. But thanks as always for watching, guys. Let me know what you're doing in the market. How are you feeling about CleanSpark, Iris Energy, and Sphere 3D? And I'll catch you in the next video.